watch your videos.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. All right, guys. What's going on? All right. I was gonna ask you who was gonna win, but I don't have to ask now. What's up, y'all? All right, y'all. All right.
Today's Boxing Nation.
My man. Canelo. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So it was just recently reported that Andre Ward, he was supposed to be fighting against an Australian fighter by the name of Ward-Murdock on the Canelo versus Cotto undercard. Now, Ward-Murdock, he has a record of 18-1 with 14 knockouts. He's also ranked number 6 by the WBO. Now, Murdock's team informed us that the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they refused to sanction the fight. Now, this is what was released to the public, this information, right? But guys, if I could tell you what I know about this whole situation, it would probably blow your mind. You know, I was about to make this video talking about this situation, but I ended up calling up one of my friends who is very, very close to this whole situation, right? He's one of the horses. You know, when they say, get it from the horse's mouth, well, this guy is one of the closest horses to this situation. And when I say close, I mean very close. So I decided to call my source up and get his take on this situation before I make my video, just to get a little bit more insight. And he gave me so much info on this situation that it completely changed what I was going to talk about when it comes to this video. Now, I can't tell you a whole lot, because this guy is in this really, really deep. Matter of fact, this fight taking place is probably going to depend on this guy. And according to him, there's a very good chance that Ward, he is going to end up fighting against Murdock after all. The fight is still being negotiated right now as we speak. He told me that Ward wanted it to be 12 rounds, and then the other party wanted it to possibly be 10 rounds. Little small things like that seem like can easily be worked out. Now, before I kind of hint at what my source was telling me about this situation, I want to point out some similarities that make you say, that's interesting. Let's look at Ward-Murdock, for example. Now, Murdock is 18-1 with 14 knockouts, okay? That's not a bad record. He's also ranked number 6 in the WBO rankings. Now, is Murdock a Sergey Kovalev? Is he a Gennady Golovkin? Of course not, right? Is this the best opponent that Andre Ward could have faced? Absolutely not. But is that grounds to not sanction the fight? Well, you be the judge. Let's look at some similarities. When other people were fighting opponents that weren't considered the best type of competition. Let's look at Leo Santa Cruz, for example. You guys remember when Leo Santa Cruz, he fought a guy by the name of Manuel Roman. You guys remember him? He fought on the undercard. I forget which undercard it was, but he fought on the undercard, and this was his opponent. Now, Manuel Roman, going into this fight, in his last 8 fights, he only had 3 wins. Matter of fact, his record in his last 8 fights was 3 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws. He wasn't ranked by any of the major organizations. In fact, he was ranked very low. So now I ask the question, how is it an opponent like that got sanctioned to fight Leo Santa Cruz, but Andre Ward's opponent, a guy who's 18-1, he hasn't had, that loss was his 2nd or 3rd fight as a pro, and it was a 4-rounder. He lost a majority decision. On top of all of that, his 2nd to last fight, he beat an undefeated fighter that was 11-0. So you have this fighter who's on a 15-fight win streak. He's ranked number 6 by a major organization. And you're telling me the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they decide to not approve this fighter as an opponent for Andre Ward? What would make them do something like that? This is where my source comes in very handy, because he answers that question. This person told me that because Andre Ward had sued Goosen, and he alleges that Andre Ward also sued the California Athletic Commission, which something I didn't know about or heard of, but that's what he said. But anyway, without going too deep into this and telling you guys the real lowdown, all I can say is this Andre Ward thing, I found out that this is extremely personal. This whole thing is personal with them not approving Andre Ward's opponent. It is extremely personal. But I will tell you this. Even the source that I'm referring to, he openly tells me he personally doesn't like Andre Ward. Something that I never knew until we had this conversation. But he just basically went on and on. He started talking about how Andre Ward was cocky and he was arrogant, and he was cocky to think that he could just come over with this new HBO 3-fight deal and just expect that he could fight in Vegas and pick his opponent, etc., etc., etc. He even went so far to tell me that this was done to Andre Ward to embarrass him. He told me that a lot of people don't like Andre Ward, and a lot of people will be happy to hear this news that Andre Ward's opponent wasn't approved by Nsac. So the point is, once again, this whole situation had nothing to do with Murdock being somewhat of a mismatch for Andre Ward. According to my source, who is in deep when it comes to this situation, this was all personal. This was all personal, aimed at Andre Ward. But at the same time, he says that this fight will most likely still get made because he's going to be fighting on the undercard. And the fact that he won't have too much time to get another opponent, not too many opponents are going to jump to probably fight Andre Ward 3 weeks notice. It's not a guarantee Andre Ward is going to face this guy, but from what I'm hearing, there's a very good chance that he will be still fighting Ward-Murdock. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a separate video because I was going to talk more about comparing, since a lot of you guys, a lot of fans, a lot of Golovkin fans are asking me the question, and you guys are comparing Andre Ward's level of opposition to Gennady Golovkin's opposition. So I'm going to do a separate video and talk about that. I'll close out with saying this. The way I heard this person talk about Andre Ward, how he doesn't like Ward, how he believes a lot of people don't like Ward, and he accused Ward of being arrogant and cocky, right? Doesn't that sound like he's talking about a different fighter? Doesn't that sound like he's talking about, a Floyd Mayweather? Like I told you guys in my previous video, Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather, they pretty much have nothing in common outside of skin color and what country they're from. Outside of that, they really have nothing in common when it comes to their personal life. But yet, Andre Ward is starting to receive the same amount of hate that Floyd Mayweather received throughout his entire career. What a coincidence. That's all I got, guys. I'm on to the next one.